Hello, Marie.
Hello, dear friend. How are you?
I'm very good. It's a true honor to invite you into this dialogue. We haven't worked together, but we have been discussing transformations for, I think, more than 20 years. So when we are now coming to step 7, I manifest impact, I immediately thought about you.
Yeah.
Yes, as the perfect one. I think we've also talked about step 7 for probably 20 hours on and off. So over to you, Marie. Maybe start by sharing, why did you go on a personal transformation journey?
I don't even know if it's a choice. I think it's just a part of my setup, and I'm not able to shut it off. Sometimes I wish I were. Well, you know that I strive for continuous learning. I love to develop myself. I think it's a must in the society we live in to always adjust and take in new perspectives. And by that, I hope that I can contribute better by staying open, curious, learning mode. And then maybe I will be able to add more value both to my family and my friends and my business. So for me, it's more like a life motto. It's the meaning of my life to be in, you call it transformation, yeah, and to always be open for change. There, my father always been my role model. He still have a huge appetite of contributing and learning new things. And last year he convinced me to climb Kilimanjaro. And those rather tough 6 days towards the top, the summit was it was very transformational. My father is 78 years old, and to see him struggle made me super touched. I mean, that you can have that drive and wanting to learn and build yourself up when you're 78, that you don't sit on the sideline, and to get that connection with him during quite tough times where you struggle mentally and physical was, it's really transformative. I loved every part of it and hated it. Sleeping in a tent, that wasn't my thing. That was also transformational, but yeah, really, really interesting. So that's one way. And also, I think I would like to live my life like my father, being 78 and still not satisfied. He still wants to develop himself and contribute and learn new things and experience new things and be transformed from a mountain. I thought that was fantastic. And the mountain changed us. It really did.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And one of the things I remember you shared with me is, as he was an elderly gentleman, he had actually to practice and practice and practice in order to complete the journey. And in a way, that's also the essence of step 7, because we can get a lot of insight, but it is only if we practice that we turn it into impact. So did you also have to practice to go Kilimanjaro?
Not in a physical sense. I'm running quite a lot and training, but I had to practice my in a mental way to be able to sleep in this tent and using a toilet that was a camping toilet behind a small curtain. So some kind of mental practice. How can I? And I'm also very cold and frozen, and to be sleeping in -degrees in a tent, that was it needed some kind of mental preparation for me. That's not what I'm made of.
No. What are the barriers? How do you tackle barriers when you are implementing this step 7, I manifest impact? How do you do it?
Well, my barriers is, I think, the same as everyone. It's my lazy brain, together with high ambitions and fear of leaving status quo. And I think depending on what change, what transformation I'm aiming at, the one is bigger than the other. But when it comes to running, for example, we have talked about that. It's my lazy brain. It's not my high ambitions, but you know that I have this daily routine of running. And before I had it as a daily routine, I wanted to have it as a daily routine, but I couldn't get it to work. And somewhere I read, I don't know where, because now it's inside my DNA, that if you just make a small promise to yourself, you know, easy to handle, that you can stick with, and then this habit of running will be easier. And my small promise to myself was that I will, doesn't matter what kind of excuses there were, it was dark, it was rainy, I didn't have the time, I had a headache, I would always, the first thing in the morning, take on my running clothes and my running shoes and walk out to my mailbox, 50 meters to the street. And then I could go in again. So, and no matter what, every morning I start with that. And that feels like, yes, that's a promise I can make to myself. How hard can it be? So I did. And when you're standing there by your mailbox, I mean, it's nearly impossible to walk in and undress and take that shower. So when you stand there by the mailbox, your brain goes, why don't I run for a little while? And I can just run around the block. But then when you run around the block, you think, I'm running, so why don't I take my normal track? So that's a good small promise to make, and it worked. It works. It worked fine because now I have been running, not every morning, but almost every morning, and that was just such a funny way to get a new habit. Instead of saying I need to run every morning and that's my new habit, I need to take on my running clothes every morning and go out to my mailbox.
And I think I love the story, and we have laughed so much about it so many times. And I actually use it when I'm together with people and I talk about change. I talk about Marie and her sneakers and the mailbox and standing there and standing at the mailbox and saying, should I run? It's like hilarious. So I'm really asking people, so what's your sneaker moment? What would be your sneakers moment in this change? And people somehow can relate to it. I think it's a fantastic story.
Yeah, it is. And it's just but it's hard. Change is hard. I try to meditate. That's also a habit I would like to do every morning, every night, as brushing my teeth. But that seems so much more difficult than to take on your running shoes. And I'm still struggling to get it as a structured way of it. Is like brushing my teeth. I don't question myself or debate. Should I not? Do I have the time to brush my teeth before I go to bed?
Yes.
So I'm struggling with some things.
Yes. Thank you for being human. Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you for your time and the conversation. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I loved it as well. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.